Hey, core reporters, welcome back to my channel. The teen mom news world has been very slow, so I figured I would take a creep into teen mom family reunion because I saw a clip on TikTok or on Instagram Reels featuring Kayla's boyfriend. What's his name? Ryan or something like that. And he is just so trifling. I had to watch. And let me tell you, actually, it wasn't bad, the episode. I watched the episode on a website called Philo. They've got over 70 channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, OWN, etc., etc. And it's only $25 a month, but they do offer a free 7-day trial. So I decided to just give it a little peek. You guys can totally do that as well. Click the link in the description box of this video if you want to head over to Philo, watch Teen Mom Family Reunion or whatever else. I also will be covering 90 Day Fiance, and set up that free trial if you want to, or sign up directly, whatever you want to do. So let's get into this recap. Like I said, Kayla and her boyfriend Ryan, the girl, she wants to be loved so bad, and she unfortunately thinks that having babies by random men is going to make them love her and do right by her, and it never works. And these men keep on cheating on her during her pregnancies. Oh, she breaks my heart. She really does. She's like a wayward girl who just wants to feel something. And unfortunately, these men are making her feel things, but it's mainly pain. Anyway, so Ryan basically says that they're doing some kind of a couples therapy thing. And so Kayla's pregnant, of course, and Ryan says that he doesn't want her to continue with the pregnancy if their relationship doesn't improve. And the girl, she's just devastated because she's like, this is the same guy. And I remember this when I was watching Next Chapter. They say, or Young and Pregnant, I don't know. This is the same guy who had a meeting with her to be like, oh, I think that your son Isaiah might be mine. I hope he's mine. And then, you give her all this hope. She gets knocked up by you and you're like, actually, I don't know if I want you to keep this baby. Guillotine immediately. These men are such trash. This is why you cannot just go get pregnant all willy-nilly by them. What are you doing? I was so pissed for her. What a terrible thing to say. In fact, it reminded me of Nathan. Remember when Nathan wanted to get Janelle knocked up so badly, she gets knocked up, and then he's like, well, I don't know if I want you to keep this baby. We're fighting too much. And she was very heavily pregnant too, nothing you can do about it level pregnant. What the hell? It's really manipulative, and it's terrible for the mom and for the baby who's feeling all of the stress and heartbreak on the inside. And one thing I loved about this episode and everything like that, because I forgot to tell you guys, I watched the first episode of Teen Mom Family Reunion, but it wasn't all that interesting. Corey was being annoying and attention starved. But I love that they're in Colombia. I love Latin America. You guys know I learned Spanish the other year, and I'm gonna go to Colombia in February with my friends and everything like that, and Brazil as well. And I'm like, okay, maybe they'll give me some ideas of what to do, where to go there. So I just love seeing that as the backdrop for the show. And I love the effort that Jade has been putting into learning Spanish. Yes, girl, she's taking a genuine interest. It was wonderful. Cheyenne even started using it a little bit as well. And I thought it was beautiful. I'm like, I really feel like everybody should be at least bilingual in life. The amount of doors it opens up for you, the way it changes your way of thinking and seeing the world is so beautiful. It's legitimately priceless. And you live in the US, there's so many Spanish speakers there. Take advantage, learn. So anyway, and I also enjoyed Mackenzie taking the girls to scale and gut fish and stuff like that. Here's the thing though, being Kenyan, I eat a lot of tilapia, or I grew up with a lot of tilapia. And it's such a good fish. It's a good earthy fish. And we fry it in oil, and you keep the scales on so it could be nice and crunchy. So when they stripped that thing nude, I was like, well, what the hell are you doing with a nude tilapia? It's supposed to be with the scales and fried and crunchy and crispy. In fact, that made me want to go to an African restaurant. I think I'm going to try to take my friend. I'm going out with my friend. She's Spanish, from Granada. I'm going to try to take her to an African restaurant. I don't know if she's eaten African food, because I love that food here. And I'm going to eat a tilapia. So that was a fun little adventure that they did. Everything is not just bathing by the pool or by the beach or this, that, or clubbing. You got to go do some more, jump outside of the box and stuff like that. So I love that. Then the guys going to the market and trying to find the products they were looking for, despite the language barrier and the completely different way of shopping. It was really, really cool. So then we get to a couples therapy session between Cheyenne and Zach. And at this point, I'm like, Cheyenne, you do not respect that man, but I'm not surprised, because I'm the same way. If a man is not working hard to provide, protect, and just like, do things that I consider to be manly. Everybody's definition is different, right? But this is my definition. Then I cannot respect him as a partner for me. If I'm out there busting my balls, in Barbara's voice, to bring home the money, then to take care of the kids and to do everything, I'm not going to respect you, because what the hell are you here for? What do you do? What do you bring to my life other than an extra mouth to feed? Right? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So, he even says that he wants to have another kid just so he can see the girl version of him. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's such a weak reason to have a child. Like, I get, like, being curious, but to be like, I really want to have a kid just so I could see like me in girl form. It's like, all right, because first of all, you're not even guaranteed to have like a daughter, right? Like, you can get Cheyenne pregnant and it could be another son. Then what? You're going to keep trying until you get a girl? Like, kind of like what Tyler and Caitlin were going through, but in reverse, because they kept trying for a boy and it just never happened. Like, come on now. And then look at Kayla from Teen Mom 2. She had to have like 7 kids before she popped out a girl. Like, and who wants to do all that? I'm sorry, but like, that's a lot of kids. So Cheyenne then says that she wants Zach to get a job. And I was kind of at this point, I was like, I thought like the last season of Next Chapter, they kind of tried to tell us that this man was getting into real estate. So what happened with that, Zach? Remember, this man used to be a credit card scammer. And I don't even have to say allegedly, because he actually did end up pleading guilty. And did he serve time? He did something. Or maybe he got probation, but he was a credit card scammer. So she wants him to get a legitimate legal job. And then Zach, she also says that he feels bad about not contributing that much financially to the household, how everything is in her name, like the house, the cars, everything has to be in her name because this man does not have credit. I'm like, girl, why did you marry this man? I don't know what is with these girls and like being super successful and then like marrying like random men who like don't really have that much to like bring to the table to them, especially Cheyenne. Because I'm like, Cheyenne, you are like, isn't like Diddy's son, and I know Diddy is persona non grata right now, but like he's got like, money, wealth, connections, power. His son is the godfather to your daughter, meaning that you're in circles with very rich and powerful people. And this is the best you can come up with, Zach? Really? You know what I mean? Like, what? So yeah, everything is in her name and blah, blah. And then the therapist is asking Zach what he wants to do for work. And at his big old age, he still does not know. And I was like, Zach, you're in your 30s. You've got 2 children, right? You've got your stepdaughter and you've got your son. And you've got all day, right? Because you don't do anything all day. And we're going to get into what I mean by that. Because some people are going to be like, oh no, he's a stay-at-home dad. Just you wait. So you don't do anything all day. Right. But like, sometimes you go in and you work at Cheyenne's parents' business and she says you feel the best. Right. And you come back more confident, which I do think is true. You do have to have a sense of purpose in life. So like, what's stopping you from finding the time to figure out what it is that you want to do? Like, I feel like he's a little bit too comfortable thanks to Cheyenne's money and her family's money. And like, they got to do something. Why doesn't he, like, if he enjoys working at her family's business, why doesn't he try to like open a franchise? Or why doesn't he try to work there more? Why is he only working there from time to time? Why doesn't he become a full-time worker? Why doesn't he become a partner? Like things like that. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't think he actually wants to do anything. I think he just is like a lazy kind of person who just wants to like exist, for free. Il fait sa princesse. He just wants to like be a princess. So, here's what I want to say, because again, I think some people are going to be like, no, he's a stay-at-home dad, blah, blah, don't be sad. Listen, if they said that he was a stay-at-home dad, right? The way that, for example, Tyler is a stay-at-home dad and he's super active with his kids and everything like that, I'd have been like, all right, like I get it. But then Cheyenne describes how her days go. She wakes up at 6 a.m. to prepare the kids for school, to take them to school and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, then what's your, like, don't make you feel quoi? What's your man doing? You know what I mean? Like, what is he here for at the end of the day? If you're paying all the bills, and you're doing everything at home, there's quite literally no purpose for this man. So I understand why Cheyenne does not respect him, because what is there to respect if you're doing literally everything and this man's just there? And she says that she gets frustrated and she can be rude to him when she goes, well, do something. Like, don't just stand there, do something. And he's like, I need her to tell me kindly what to do. Why does she need to tell you what to do anyway? You're a dad, just like she's a dad. You're an adult in the house, just like she's an adult in this house. And you've been living with her for years, right? You're like, and she had a daughter before you came, and before your son was born. So you know what a routine is like with children, and you've known that for the past several years. So why the hell does she need to take the time to tell your grown ass what to do? This is what, like, I understand why women lose respect for men and stop sleeping with men, because it's like having a moron in your house sometimes. Like, some people get lucky, right, and find like a man with a brain, a man with a good job, like, who helps to share the load. But the fact that you need to take the time out of your brain and power and your energy to tell a grown ass person what to do with his own child, like, ew, like, it turns you off. I understand why y'all stop sleeping with these men. Like, ew, brother, ew, brother, ew. Like, what? Why does she need to tell him? And why does she need to tell him kindly? I would be pissed off too if I had to tell you and spoon feed you what to do with your own kids, in a house that you live in and you've been living in for free for years. And the fact that I even have to get up at 6 a.m. when I'm the one working, like, no, what? Like, it's just so crazy to me. I don't understand it. And you know what? I wish that the therapist, and she seemed like such a lovely lady, I really liked her, but I wish that she addressed that. Like, this is like a mental load, an extra burden that Cheyenne has to take on. Why? Why are you not able to self-direct? Right? You're trying to be a businessman, an entrepreneur. You claim that you were an entrepreneur. Is stealing entrepreneurship? I'm asking for a friend. It's not shade. I'm asking for a friend. Is stealing entrepreneurship? Let me know in the comments. Like, when you were stealing people's credit card numbers and whatnot, allegedly, like, that took some chutzpah, right? That took some creativity. They did not just hand it to you on a silver platter the way that you're expecting Cheyenne to hand parenting duties to you on a silver platter. So why is it that you found the initiative to get these card numbers, right? And then to allegedly go ahead and open up credit cards or phone lines in people's names, but when it comes to your own kids, you don't know what to do, and you need to be told what to do. You need to be spoon-fed. It's just not adding up. The math is not mathing. I feel like this is weaponized incompetence, and I feel like this is general disinterest, and I feel like this is like some sort of sexism where it's like, well, it's up to her to raise these kids. And if you're going to be sexist like that, then it's up to you to make some money. So get up off your ass and make some damn money, And I'm at the same time, I'm like, this is the man who wants another kid. I could see why Cheyenne does not want another kid. Ryder is in school. She's self-sufficient almost. Ace, like, he's speaking, he's walking and everything like that. They got out of the hard part. So why go back and start over with a useless man who doesn't bring any money to the house and doesn't even bring proper parenting to the house either, who needs to be told what to do, right? Like, I personally wouldn't do it. I wouldn't have even had the first one with this man, right? But like, why would Cheyenne do that? I feel like that would be a terrible mistake for her. And his big reason is not, oh, I want to I just love kids so much. I want to raise another one. I have so much love for Ace. I want to share that with another child. I want to see myself in girl form. Sorry, but that's not convincing. And like, Cheyenne just got her body done, right? Like, why get your body done just to go back and have another child? It just does not make any sense. I don't see her doing it, to be honest with you. Anyway, moving on to Kayla's relationship with Ryan. Ryan, I don't like this guy because I feel like he's playing in her face. He's a very dishonest, shady person. And I'm really disappointed by what he said to her about like the pregnancy and everything like that. Like, that to me would have been like, my heart would have been shattered on the floor, if someone said that to me, So things go from bad to worse between them when everybody's just chilling out in the lounge, and then Kayla gets a phone call from her mom freaking out. She says it's an emergency, and the emergency is that Ryan is cheating on Kayla. And so Kayla's really upset about this. She goes into the washroom with Jade. Like, she's like, get your mic off. I don't want this to be on camera. And so she shares the information with Jade. And, meanwhile, Ryan doesn't even know why the two girls are in the washroom, but he knows that he is effing around and he's cheating and he ain't shit. So what does he do? He starts panicking. He goes to Mackenzie and her emergency black boyfriend. Oh, I forgot about that. Remember, Mackenzie, she was saying some like pretty racist things. She was talking about colored people and just like Kamala Harris and just like all sorts of weird stuff. And so she got dragged for that. So she went out and got an emergency black boyfriend. And like, they've been together for a while though. So I'm like, wow, girl, did you really catch feels? Like, what is this? What's going on? We'll get into them another time if they explore their dynamic more moving forward. But so he goes over to them and he's like, oh, like, I feel like someone's being messy. Someone's trying to start some mess. Someone's this, someone's that. It's like, no, you were being messy with your peen, running around behind Kayla's back. And it's going to be exposed because what's done in the dark will always come to the light eventually. So I just, at this point, I'm like, Kayla, like, And she's crying because it always happens. She's like, like these men keep cheating on me when I'm pregnant. And I'm like, because you're getting pregnant by random men, girl. Like, what are you doing? Stop doing this. Like, get into a solid, stable relationship, wait a couple of years, get some sort of, in my opinion, everyone's different, but I feel like you should get a concrete commitment from someone before you get pregnant. And then go ahead and do it, right? Like, why are you pregnant by this man? Like, you guys have a messy relationship already. Didn't you cheat on Luke with this man? Like, you didn't think he'd eventually cheat on you? Like, you didn't think karma would come up to you? Like, karma always comes around. Like, sorry, but like, what are you doing, right? But here's the thing, though. We find out that Kayla actually knew that Luke went out to dinner with like a random girl that like he was with before, and that they kissed, and she was okay with it. I'm like, well, now you're like, you've already shown this guy that you don't have boundaries, you don't have standards, you're okay with him disrespecting you. So like, why are you acting shocked that he's cheating on you? Like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Why are you accepting this nonsense in the first place? Of course, it would escalate from there. Like. Sometimes like when I watch a show, I'm like, I honestly think these people are slow, like legitimately slow, because when that came out that she already knew that he did like half of this, like go out with the girl and kiss her. And she's like, yeah, I already knew that. He told me. How are we glossing over this? Like, are you okay? Like, what is that? Like, I don't know. Is it low self-esteem or is it low brain cell count? Like, I genuinely do not know. So Jade does try to comfort Kayla. She's like, Kayla, like, don't, like, you are worth so much more than this, you could do better, blah blah blah. But here's the thing, like, Jade, I think you can like direct that speech to yourself based on the stuff you put up with Sean, when y'all were calling the cops on each other, back and forth and everything like that. Like, if Jade was telling me I deserve better and I had low self-esteem, I would really have to look within, because anyway, guys, that's a recap of what went down on Teen Mom Family Reunion. The episode was rather interesting. I know the ratings are in the gutter, and people don't really talk about this, but I just wanted to share for like the one or two of you who watched the show. It was actually rather interesting. So if you watched it or if you just enjoyed this recap, let me know what you thought about like some of the dynamics at play in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. And don't forget, you can watch Teen Mom Next Chapter and a bunch of other reality shows on Philo. Get started with a free 7-day trial in the link in the description box down below. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.